Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to attempt the impossible that not even the great Nostradamus could do. We are going to be predicting the 2020-2021 English Championship. You ready for this, Nathan?
Absolutely not. Only joking, I'm ready.
Brilliant. But before we get started, just a little reminder as well that we are running a Premier League fantasy football game again this year. If you haven't already signed up, then go over to fantasy.premierleague.com, search for the private leads and enter ynrbzb to join our league. But that's enough of all of that. Let's just get straight into it and make our predictions.
Okay, so first up we're going to start with the relegated teams, and finishing bottom of the league this year I have gone for Rotherham United. Now Rotherham of course coming straight back up from League One, first time of asking. They are a yo-yo club, in and out of the Championship as always. Signing wise, haven't really brought in anyone. The only notable player there is Jamal Blackman from Chelsea, the goalkeeper. I think he's out on his 8th or 9th loan now. They just sell him Chelsea, but apart from that they haven't really brought in anyone, and their team is just filled with lower league mediocrity. So it'd be an absolute miracle if Rotherham stayed up. Can't see it happening. I don't know where their goals are going to come from because their striker's also unproven and has a dodgy scoring record. So going to be bottom for Rotherham. 23rd got Barnsley. Sort of a miracle they stayed up last season because Wigan got that points deduction, of course. They have got Ludwig in from Salzburg. Barnsley's luck's going to run out, so I put them 23rd. And then 22nd, I've got to say Luton. Now, I really didn't want to put them in the relegation zone because of the way that their team has been playing, especially near the end of last season. And Nathan Jones is a really good manager for them. But looking at all the other teams around them, yes, even the likes of Wickham and points deducted Sheffield Wednesday, I just don't think Luton have enough quality to stay up in the Championship, even though you have signed good players like Tom Lockyer, the Welsh international, of course. So unfortunately, Luton is back down to League One for you.
So my relegated teams, I'm going to start off with, unfortunately, in 24th position, I've gone for Wickham Wanderers, managed by the great Gareth Ainsworth, probably one of the worst or best dressed coaches or managers on the sideline.
Cardiff City legend, of course.
Well, he only was on there for a loan for about, I don't know, 10 matches or something like that. Leather jacket clad on the weekend against Brentford. Absolutely brilliant to see, and I think he had some really tight jeans on as well. But they haven't got a massive budget, can't really spend that much on players. I think, okay, they got promoted last season, but the season before that, I think they were really struggling, just held on to their position in League One. So how it's going to pan out this year, I don't know, but I wish them all the luck anyway. But I think they're going to end up in 24th position. Next up, we've got 12-point deducted Sheffield Wednesday. They made a couple of good signings. I know that Izzy Brown has gone there. I really like the look at him. I think he played for Luton last year. Good player. Apart from that, is it Che Dunkley has come in from Wigan as well? Oh, and Kanjunga in from Huddersfield, but I don't think he scores that many goals anyway. So, and the thing with Sheffield Wednesday, they do start off with a 12-point deficit, and they've got a really difficult first few games as well. They open their campaign against Cardiff City away, then they've got the likes, Watford the following week, Bristol City after that, QPR, okay, not too, they should pick up some points there, and then they've got Birmingham and then Brentford. So a really difficult start for the Owls there. In 22nd position, I've gone for Rotherham. As you say, Nathan, haven't made some great signings. A yo-yo club, the best throughout their squad from what I've seen. I don't think they're going to have enough to survive this season. Moving on to the next 5 place teams, I've gone for Luton Town. Obviously, Nathan Jones came in last season, and you could say, he came in and saved them. They do have the likes of Tom Lockyer, who's come in from Charlton on an undisclosed fee, Welsh international, of course. So they have got some good players throughout their ranks, and as you say, they fight for each other, and they've got a really good team spirit there. It's just unfortunate at the moment there's no fans going back in the stadium. So Luton in 21st for me. Next, I've gone for Barnsley. I could see Barnsley finishing a lot higher than this. They brought in Ludwig, you could say, on loan from RB Salzburg. They brought in Dominic Fraser as well from Lask, and Isaac Christie Davis from Liverpool on a free. So they do play good football. They need a bit more grit there, I think. Is it going to push them up into mid-table? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle this season, but ultimately I see them surviving. Next up, we've got Reading. Now, what can we say about Reading?
Joke of a club.
Well, yeah, but in midfield, are they going to be able to hold on to Jonathan Swift? I know there's rumours about Sheffield United looking at him. If he goes, that's going to be a massive loss. The manager is a bit of an unknown quantity, well, for me anyway. The Serbian Valino Panovic, I think that's how you say. He's only been in the job 5 days. He hasn't had a lot of preparation time, but they've got the players there to just, they will cause some upsets this season. But I see them finish in 19th position. QPR, another poorish season for them as well. Of course, the biggest, the headlines everywhere that Eze has gone. So they've got a bit of money there to spend. Whether they spend it, I don't know. They have brought in a few players like George Thomas from Leicester, he must be a youngster, Luke Amos from Spurs, Lyndon Dykes, Rob Dickey, and Tom Carroll has come in as well from Swansea, so that may be a bit of a decent sign in there, but 18th position for you guys, the Hoops, I'm afraid. And in 17th position I gone for champions of Division 1 last season, which is Coventry, unbeaten in 2020, although they haven't played for quite a while now. I think they're going to make it difficult for teams in the division. Whether they're going to be able to score enough goals, I don't know, but I've put them just below mid-table in 17th.
Okay, so going up from my 21st to 17th, I've got Wickham. I just feel like they're going to stay up. Gareth Ainsworth is going to work a bit of magic. Been in the job since 2012.
They've got some great team spirit there.
Great team spirit. It's going to get them through. It's going to get them through and keep them up. We've seen it many times before. Even with almost 40-year-old Adebayo Akinfenwa, they're still going to stay up, I reckon. I think he'll get a few goals, even though his fitness is always questionable.
And if he's doing, if he's on YouTube all the time. Then...
Yeah, if he's doing more interviews by like Spencer Owen or presenting Wembley Cups, well, that's not going to happen anymore. But I got a feeling it's going to happen. So Wickham 21st. In 20th, I've got Reading. Yes, they may have some good players, but bringing in a manager whose managerial CV is just non-existent. I mean, how can you get a job like this when he gets sacked from Chicago Fire?
Was he? I don't know if he was sacked. I know that he's had a very difficult time though in the MLS recently.
Yeah, I believe he was sacked. Well, Chicago Fire finished bottom of the Eastern Conference, but with a managerial CV like that probably wouldn't even get you employed at #United. But anyway,
he's been like Serbia under 18, under 19, and under 20 coach as well.
So it's not good at all. I think Reading are going to really struggle this season. Haven't really brought in anyone either. They have retained some of their good players though, and if John Swift goes, then it's all over as well, especially if Mate does as well. But
no, I don't think he scores enough goals anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't score enough goals, but 20th for them. In 90th, I've gone for QPR. I think they're going to struggle again this season. Just don't have that firepower, and without Eze, I think they're really going to struggle. Our team spirit's going to go there. In 18th, I've actually gone for Sheffield Wednesday. I think their squad's actually good. Wow, indeed. I think their squad's actually good enough for it. They've got a good attacking line. The likes of Kadeem Harris, Adam Reach, quality there.
I don't think the likes of Harris and Murphy, Jacob Murphy is not on the other way. Consistently over a whole season, I don't think they're good enough. They might have one or two games absolutely brilliant, but consistent.
Yeah, they have a strong attacking midfield, but the only thing they lack in is, their defence is a bit shaky at times, but and they're pretty inconsistent. I just think they'll have enough to do it though. And with Gary Monk as a manager, usually ends up getting sacked. Been in there for over a year now. I still don't understand how he gets employed like most people since the amount of clubs he's had, but I think they'll just about do it. Sheffield Wednesday, so 18th. Now this is very interesting. In 17th, I've gone for Birmingham City. That means they're below Coventry, so a team that doesn't even a team that's ground sharing at their stadium actually finishes above them. Birmingham fans would be very angry, I got a feeling, but I think it's going to be a difficult season for Birmingham. Wasn't good last year. Almost got relegated. Stayed up narrowly. Only signing really is Jonathan Lecco from West Brom. Bit overpriced for $1 million, that I reckon, personally. And apart from that,
they got George Friend, who's come in from Borough, and that's a pretty decent signing.
Yeah, that could be a decent signing, but I don't think he'll be enough somehow for them. So,
and I think Adam Clayton as well from Borough.
Yeah. Yeah, got some alright players there, but I just don't think it'll be enough, so that's them finishing in 17th. In 16th, I've gone for Coventry. Mark Robbins, brilliant manager, only lost 3 times this season and unbeaten in 2020. Got a really great squad about them, steamrolled League One, but I think they're going to have a really good season again in the Championship. A lot of teams are going to be shocked by the way they play, especially, so I've gone for 16th for them. They have signed some good players as well. Gustavo Harmer from Zwolle looks like a good player for 1.5 million. In 15th place, I've gone for Huddersfield, bringing in Carlos Corberán. I still think the sacking the Cowleys is an absolutely stupid decision, especially when they hadn't even had a year there, barely even, one transfer window. Stupid by the Huddersfield board, but yeah, I think it's going to be a mediocre season for them yet again. They haven't really signed anyone at either Huddersfield. I believe they signed Danny Ward on a free transfer. Doesn't really get the goals though.
No, I think he's on a 3-year contract. He's great coming off the bench, but starting at games, well, you never know, it might turn out good for him at Huddersfield.
Could turn out, returning there of course, but I just don't think he'll have enough. Apart from that, no one else really signs.
Pippa from Espanyol.
I'm not sure if that'll be good enough, and Joel Pereira from Man United, but yeah, it's going to be another mid-table mediocrity season for Huddersfield. Yeah, Kachunga's gone, Mooney's gone as well, and you're just straight up relying on Danny Ward and Fraser Campbell to score goals, which just won't go well, even with how old Fraser Campbell is. But yeah, mediocre season for you lot. In 14th place, I've gone for Bristol City, going for a completely inexperienced manager as well, replacing
the car salesman.
Of course. I really think you should have kept him though, even though Bristol City fans didn't like him. But I don't know, I still think he's better than who you've brought in now in Dean Holden. Just doesn't have enough experience for a club like you lot. Signings wise, I haven't really brought anyone in of note. Stephen Sessignon and Alfie Mawson on loan for at the back. I just don't think it's enough for you guys. It's just going to be another mediocre season. The way you collapsed at the end of last season, I think that's going to happen for the majority of this season. I just don't think Dean Holden will be able to organise it all properly. So 14th for you lot. In 13th, Preston haven't signed anyone at all. Got a great core there, but looking at the other teams around, I just don't think it'll be enough. And the way they struggled towards the end of last season as well doesn't help either. So I think that's going to continue into the start of this season as well. So I'm going to say 13th for Preston North End fans. And then in 12th place, I have gone for Blackburn Rovers, bringing in goalkeeper Thomas Kaminski from Ghent. That's obviously replacing David Raya, who went to Brentford last season. Reassuring at the back there. Bradley Dack up front. He should be returning from injury around now. Looked good towards the end of that. Looked good at the start of the season before he went injured, and sort of played well when he wasn't there either. So yeah, I think it'll be an alright season, so I'm going 12th for Blackburn.
Okay, my 16th to 12th are as follows. So I've gone for Birmingham in at 16th position. Karanka has gone in there, so a lot of experience in the Championship. I don't think things will be exciting there or anything. I think they will kind of hold their own this season, but nothing spectacular, as you said already, Nathan. Bringing in the likes of George Friends and this Jonathan Lecco in for West Brom, along with Adam Clayton as well. Decent enough signings, but they're not going to get you promoted. Next in, I brought in Huddersfield. Now, Huddersfield's new manager, Carlos Corberán, I think he's worked under Bielsa in the past, so plenty of pedigree there, and I hear they're having sort of double or treble sessions as well, so they're going to be fit, but whether they'll be able to last the whole of the season like Leeds used to, where they used to drop off, so maybe they'll have a great start to the season, Huddersfield, but then drop off. Next I've gone for Neil Warnock's Middlesbrough. I can see them having a lot better season than they did last year. They're going to fight for each other. You probably get the wingers in there and a bit of a target man. Borough haven't made too many signings as yet, bringing in so far Grant Hall. Maybe Warnock can get a tune out of a Sombalonga as well. Exciting forward, could be one of the best in the division, but 14th position for Middlesbrough for me. Swansea City, I didn't know where to put them in the league. They're bringing in a lot of loanies again. Cooper's contacts, his under 18 experience with England and everything. Seems to bring some gems in every year. So I'm not sure I was going to go for Swansea. They're losing a lot of players as well. Will Ayew stay on? Because I know he's on pretty high wages, or the stories I've heard. So losing Brewster. Okay,
there goes the goals.
Yeah, where are the goals going to come from? So a mid-table for Swansea for me. A lot of people are tipping them to get into the playoffs, and I've seen a lot of people tipping them to struggle, so I've sort of gone straight down the middle for this one. Another team who's going to struggle by comparison from what they've done in previous seasons is Bournemouth, losing a lot of players. A lot of the fringe players, I think, are still there. Up front, we've got Solanke leading the line now. So, how he's going to perform in the Championship, you never know. He might set the division alight. But
might as well put a lump of cheese up front. And
really,
get more goals
you think
out
that?
of it,
But we shall see. On his day, he's got a lot to prove. But maybe he will. So next step, I'm going to predict the 11th to 7th position. In 11th position, I've gone for Blackburn Rovers. Solid season last year. I think they've actually signed Gallagher now on a 4-year deal from Southampton. So that's a great acquisition after he did fairly well last year. They could be relying on Adam Armstrong again. I think he's still there as well. Scoring 16, I think it was 16 goals in the Championship last year. So whether they can push to get into playoffs, I'm not so sure. In 10th position, I've gone for Millwall. I've seen a lot of people tipping them to get into the playoffs this year, but strong overall squad. Gary Rowett is an excellent manager at this level as well, so you never know. These sort of teams in around this area, they could finish a lot higher than this, or a little bit higher than this, or a little bit lower, so it's very difficult, these ones, and that's the reason why I've gone for Bristol City in 9th position. Just talking to a couple of Bristol City fans over the last couple of days, they seem to be a lot more confident than they were earlier in this pre-season, as you say, Nathan, bringing in the likes of Alfie Mawson, Chris Brunt from West Brom, and Stephen Sessegnon on loan from Fulham as well. So whether they can get to the playoffs, I'm not so sure. I think they'll just miss out. Next up, we've got a staple of this sort of area in the division, the Preston North End. I don't think they've actually signed anyone of note. No. At the moment, they've got a decent enough squad there. Can they remain free of injuries, etc., suspensions? But Alex Neil does a fairly decent job there for North End. And in 7th position, a lot of people have been tipping these to get into playoffs or even automatics. I've gone for Derby County. They have brought in the likes of David Marshall.
Great signing.
Yeah, brilliant keeper there. Mike T. Owerek, I think it is, from FC Groningen, and Matt Clark on loan from Brighton. I think they'll just miss out on those playoffs. And Rooney, everybody's raving about Rooney, but I think
he basically plays as CDM now.
Yeah, I think he's slowing up a lot. Okay, he's got the great footballing brain, but I saw him in a few games at the end of last season and wasn't impressed, even though he'd sort of turned them around anyway. Nathan, tell me your 11th to 7th.
So in 11th, I've gone for Millwall. Yeah, like you said, solid squad. Looking at the teams around them, I just can't see them getting any higher. Mind, they have signed Troy Parrott on loan. Look from Spurs, who looks like a great striker.
But I think he's got a bit of a build on him. But can he cope with the rigours of the Championship? Remains to be seen. And he's not that old either, is he? He's very
he's a youngster. But I think he'll get Millwall a few goals, and I think Millwall fans will be happy with 11th. In 10th, I've gone for Middlesbrough. Warnock, usually a Championship specialist, but with this squad compared to the squad that he had at Cardiff City, I just don't think he's strong enough. I just don't think he's strong enough at all to push for the playoffs. Looking at it, when Warnock said he came to Cardiff, he had a good squad that he could trust, whereas Middlesbrough, very few players he could trust, and all he signed is Grant Hall on a free transfer, so he hasn't really had much of a budget to work with. So I think it's going to be just be above mid-table for Borough this year. In 9th position, I've gone for Swansea City. Now, struggling to think where to put them, but after losing their squad, after losing some of their squad, you've lost Brewster, so there goes your goals there. I don't know whether he's going to be out the door or not. You've also lost Van der Horn as well, so that's a massive blow for you, especially if Rodon leaves as well. And who's going to be in your defence?
There's Cabango.
You have got Cabango. He's a class player in the future, but he just needs a bit more development. You have re-signed Freddie Woodman in goal as well. Morgan Gibbs-White looks to be a good defender, and Jamal Lowe could only get you goals up front though. Jamal
Lowe though on the wing, that is a decent signing from Wigan.
It could be a decent signing, but will it be enough though? That is the question. I don't think it will be, and I think it'll be 9th position for the Jacks this year.
Also Corey Smith, who's Bristol City. I'm sure he's was captain of Bristol City. So.
At some point, yeah. But anyway, moving on to 8th position, I've got to put Bournemouth. Now you've lost Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser, Andrew Sermon, Aaron Ramsdale, lots and lots of key players there. And the question I want to know is who's going to score the goals, because you can't rely on Dom Solanke at all. He rarely scores. It may be a different story in the Championship, but I just can't see it, Bournemouth fans. I think he'll be solid near the back this season, but I just don't think he'll be able to get the goals this year, so I'm going to go for 8 for you lot. In 7th position, I've gone for Norwich. Now, the team who usually finishes bottom of the table never usually steps back straight away and always has a difficult time in the Championship. You've seen it with Huddersfield, you've seen it with Sunderland, you've seen it with all these sides finishing bottom. So you have signed a lot of players, to be fair, as well. Plismensor Planchetta from Slask Warsaw for 2.7 million could be a good signing, and Jordan Hugill, not too sure about that. He could be alright, but you have kept most of your squad, which is good, so you could be challenging.
Quinn Tiller as well from Villarreal on loan.
Could be that, he could be a good player as well, but I just don't think you'll have enough. As for Timo Pukki, I don't think he'll be like he was 2 seasons ago, and I think he's going to struggle this year, so...
But he may even go to a Premier League club.
He may even go to a Premier League club, but
somebody like Fulham, maybe a backup for Mitrovic.
Could be, but I can't see it, unfortunately, Norwich fans. Moving on to the playoffs, in 6th position I've gone for Stoke. Michael O'Neill gets his first full season in charge of them, bringing in some good players. James Chester and Stephen Fletcher coming in as good transfers, and John Obi Mikel on a free transfer could be good reinforcement as well in the midfield.
Getting a bit long in the tooth though.
Getting a bit long in the tooth, but he could bring a lot of experience. But your squad is good enough, you're under a good manager, so I think he'll have a good season and finish 6th. In 5th place I've gone for Brentford. You've lost Ollie Watkins, you could be set to lose Ben Rama as well, so that's some of your squad going there, and I think he'll be about the same as last season. Don't think you're going to go up in automatics though. You have signed Even Tony from Peterborough, who looks like an alright player. Could bring some quality to the side, but
he scored an absolute hatful of goals for Peterborough last season. So
scored a hatful of goals. Can he do it in the Championship though? Might take some time for him to gel in, but yeah, I think he'll be about the same for Brentford, finishing in the playoffs. In fourth position I've gone for Derby County, bringing in some great signings such as David Marshall, filling in that void at keeper. Not sure what's happening to Ruse though. I thought he was a great keeper anyway. Wayne Rooney getting a bit long in the tooth now, playing in the sort of CDM role, nowhere near up front, getting the experience in. But yeah, the Derby have a good side, so I think they'll be in and around the playoffs somewhere. In 3rd position, I have gone for Nottingham Forest though. Jack Cole back on a free transfer. Oh my word. That's not going to get you into the automatics.
You put them 3rd.
I know I put them 3rd, but that's one of the worst signings I've ever seen. At least it was on a free transfer, that's the main thing. Luke Freeman, on loan from Sheffield United, could bring you some quality. The question is, can Lamucci not bottle it like last season? I think he will.
Dropped away, didn't they? So
dropped away, but then again, the likes of Leeds, West Brom and Fulham have gone out of the league with some teams getting a bit worse. So I think they'll have an alright season, especially for Lamucci's 2nd season in charge as well. I think they'll be a lot more improved, so that's my playoff.
Okay, so my playoff positions are, in 6th position I've actually gone for Stoke City. Massive improvements for them last season. The only problem is I think I tipped them the season before to finish really high up, but the last couple of seasons a little bit disastrous, but they have brought in the likes of James Chester and Stephen Fletcher, decent signings, and we already said about John Obi Mikel. He's actually 33 years of age, so yeah, decent experience there. But the improvements they made at the end of last season and the squad that they've got there at Stoke City, that should see them push towards the playoffs. In fact, I put them in 6th position. In 5th position, I've put Brentford. I was mulling putting Brentford in the automatics, but with Ollie Watkins gone, looks like Benrahma could be on his way out. Okay, Ivan Toney coming in from Peterborough may need a little bit of time to adjust. I think he did look decent in that Carabao Cup game against Wycombe Wanderers. Can he score the goals? But you take out Watkins and Benrahma, the amount of goals and assists and everything that they had. It's there's the weight of expectation on Tony's shoulders. It's not fair in that first season, so you should see them drop off to about 5th. You could even see them drop out of the playoff picture. In 4th position, I've gone for Cardiff City. I was going to put these Cardiff in automatics, not biased or anything. Harris has got them, well drilled and everything, well-oiled machine. Very
one of the best teams coming out of lockdown, in my opinion.
Yeah, one of very difficult to play against. you could say they can mix up. They play good football and they're very direct at times. It's just a real shame that Mendes Lang has left the club. Not sure what's going on there, but looks like he's sort of been sacked, you could say, because his contract has been terminated. But quality, if they can keep everybody fit, then they're going to be knocking on the door of automatics. But I think Cardiff will just miss out again on those autos. Next up, I got gone for Norwich, bringing a lot of players in, holding on to a lot of their players as well that have come down from the Premier League. So I think they're going to have a really good season. Whether they can make it into the autos, I'm not so sure. They might just creep in there. But on to my top two, and in second position I've gone for Nottingham Forest. I think you put them in the playoffs, Nathan. I've gone one better. I put them in second position. Quality throughout their ranks. Lamucci, decent, very good in fact, coach, manager, whatever have you, but I think they're going to finish in second position. And top of the tree, my champions in the Championship this year, I'm going to go for Watford. Okay, just lost to Corey to Everton, but held on to most of their players. If new manager Ivic, who's only been in the job for 19 days, 20 days, can motivate them, can get them playing, they've got some really good players there, then they could take this division by storm and maybe even do a Leeds and pull away at the end of the season. We saw them, was it the season before last, and I was very impressed with them. Just a shame how it ended for them last season in the Premier League.
Indeed. So in second position, I've gone for Cardiff City. Now, this is not biased. I really think we could do it this season, bringing in some good signings. Yeah,
Kiefer Moore, of course, coming in from Wigan, is a Cardiff City player through and through.
He is, and he's scoring the goals internationally and friendly. He's doing a lot. Osei Tutu is filling the hole at right back as well that we've really needed for a long time. And Shea Ojo looks like a great player from Liverpool on the wing as well. Could be an all right replacement for Mendes Lang, but we really need someone to play on the right. If Neil Harris can sort that, then we're definitely up there. We've already building on a great squad.
Yeah, with Tutu as well. Okay, he's very young. I think he's had a few loan spells, but hopefully he'll mature. Maybe they can get somebody with a little bit of experience to help him out at that right back berth throughout the season.
That'll be very good, but I think it's going to be a great season for us if we don't have injuries, if the likes of Tomlin, Riles and Volks can stay fit in the midfield as well. You've got the likes of Glatzel and Moore, like you've just touched upon, so good up there for squad depth and everything.
And Callum Patterson filling in wherever he needs to be, really.
Exactly, great squad player he is, but Cardiff in second, and like you, I've gone for Watford finish top. Well, what can we say? Gerard Deulofeu win the Championship just scares me. With the likes of Troy Deeney up front, Glenn Murray, who always scores ridiculous numbers of goals in this division.
Glenn Murray, okay, I know he's getting on in years, but are we going to see Troy Deeney move from Watford?
I don't think so somehow. I think he'll get him back up into the Premier League and then maybe be phased out. But strong midfield as well, strong defence. They're just screaming for first position. As long as the Watford board do not sack Ivic. And we'll see. He's got managers.
I think he's got a 1-year contract, so crazy that is.
Yep.
So that concludes our predictions for the 2020-2021 English League Championship. As always, if you leave your predictions for the Championship below in the comments section, we'll take a look at every single comment and weigh up how yours compares to ours. But Nathan, before we go, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, search my channel, link in description below. Live stream 3 o'clock on Saturday, Cardiff City versus Sheffield Wednesday. And also, we always do this, but who's going to be the first manager sacked this season? Impossible to predict.
Well, if Watford don't get off to a good start, then we could see Ivic. He's only on a 1-year contract, so they wouldn't have to pay him off that much.
Exactly.
But, it depends. If a big team is struggling, you could say somebody like Stoke, if they're down at the bottom again for the third or fourth year on the trot, then we could see Michael O'Neill, but maybe going. But I think they're going to have a decent season. Anyway, how about yourself, Nathan?
I was going to think Jason Tyndall for Bournemouth, but I just don't think so. I think he'll start off all right and be consistent throughout the season, and I think the Bournemouth board will be understanding about the amount of players that they have lost. But apart from that,
maybe Mark Warburton. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be Mark Warburton.
Unless they're building up, because I think they've got a lot of exciting youngsters at QPR. So
yeah, that's true. But apart from that, Gary Monk usually attracts the sack, doesn't he?
Yeah, but they're starting off on minus 12 points, so if they could get off to a good start and a cut adrift, would there be any point in sacking him anyway? So.
Don't think so, but yeah, that's who I think about it.
So that's it then, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. But for now, we'll bid you farewell and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.